If you're considering the pros and cons of working a 9 to 5 versus being self-employed, this video is for you.
Get the biggest Chanel back in the store if you want it. I gave them the drill, they sucked it up, I got them on it. I bought a new bag, I had the one, so I two-toned them. Taking these drugs, I'm gonna be
Welcome to my channel. I just wanted to get on here and talk a little bit about being self-employed versus having a 9 to 5, because I know a lot of people becoming self-employed is becoming a very wanted thing in these days, but also I don't want people to feel like that it's gonna be easy, because it's not. But having a 9 to 5 is not easy either. There are pros and there are cons, and I'm here to talk about both because I have been on both sides. So when it comes down to a 9 to 5, you basically technically you do have a set income. You know what you're getting paid hourly. You know how many hours you work in a week. Versus when you are self-employed, you can put in a whole lot of hours. One week you might not make nothing, or you might not even put in a lot of hours and you exceed, your income. It fluctuates in business. It is what it is. There's no way to 100% guarantee exactly what you'll be making. Of course, you can always strive for certain numbers, but it's a numbers game. So you may reach your goal one day or 1 week, or you may not reach it one day or 1 week. And again, the hours and the pay is not always going to be the same when you are self-employed versus when you are working at a job, your 9 to 5. It pretty much the same, because you know how much you get paid an hour. You know how you start a job and you start calculating. You can do that with self-employment, but it's a goal that you're trying to reach. Like, you don't know for sure if you're going to hit those numbers. You might exceed it, or you might not make as much as you want. But again, it all comes with it, and you have to be willing to accept it. Another thing, PTO. Most jobs, you are able to take PTO and get paid for the days that you miss, versus when you are self-employed and you don't have, income that you don't have to physically work for. Then you get sick, or you have to take a day off from your business, you ain't getting paid. But again, it comes with it. It's so important to save. It's so important to know your numbers. But I'll get into a little bit about that in another video. Now, when it comes down to health insurance, a lot of people say, oh, well, I kept my job for health insurance, which granted, a lot of health insurance plans are cheaper when you get it through a job, but you can get insurance through like marketplace insurance without having a job. There are self-employed people with insurance, so I don't want you to think that you cannot have insurance if you are self-employed. You can. It might cost you a little bit more, but you can get health insurance. Now, me, for example, I have not had insurance in years. However, I have a lot of resources. Let me say that. So I would say, if you decide not to get insurance, make sure you have some type of resource. I'm added on some things. I also go to certain doctors, certain labs, to where the self-employed or self-pay price is cheaper than if you was getting it with insurance. You just have to pay it up front versus being billed in the mail. A lot of things like that, because honestly, some stuff is cheaper without insurance, and it's crazy, but it is. Now, one thing that you get at a job that you don't get when you're self-employed is coworkers. When you're self-employed, it is hard to find a actual community of people who understand and who are just genuine. And granted, it can be like that in a 9 to 5 setting too. Now, some people don't care for coworkers, but also some people do love coworkers. And I will tell y'all this now. I do work part-time. I do physically work part-time, and it helps my mental so much. And not more so the job, but like being around people and having actual conversations with people, because I'm by myself most of the time. Like, when y'all see me doing videos, y'all see me doing videos myself. When I'm working on my content, I'm here myself. When I'm helping my clients, I'm by myself. So for me to go out and, be in an area with employees, things like that, it's cool. There's been a couple days to where I felt kind of down, and I felt better when I went in, because I was around people and not being so alone, so by myself all the time. So if you're a person who don't really care, then y'all might not care about no coworkers or not being around. Y'all might love not being around coworkers. Even working from home can be mentally straining, because you're not around people, especially if you live alone like me. But it's all preference. So now, I've did full-time self-employed for years, so I was kind of used to being by myself, but also it is kind of decent to be around people, but again, the job that I do have is only seasonal, so when that ends, it's back to being to myself full-time. But it's cool. I will be getting out a little more this year. because there are a lot of creator events that I'll be doing. I'm not missing out on a lot of these things this year. So if you are in the DFW area, y'all might see me outside a little bit. And I ain't talking about like the party and none of that. I'm talking about like, different events. Now, another difference between a 9-to-5 and being self-employed, your job can fire you at will. You can go to work and go home and clock out and go home, and you get an email telling you not to come back, basically. So many people have lost their jobs. So many people have went to sleep one day, the next day the job filed bankruptcy and got rid of all the employees. That can happen at any moment. And not saying that everybody should be self-employed, because they shouldn't, but I do feel like everybody should have some type of plan, some type of savings, and I know it's hard in this economy, but we have to, some people, are doing the best they can, but also some people are making poor decisions when it comes down to finance and things like that. Baby, this is not a financial lecture, but I just want to say that, these jobs can fire you at will. And I do think it's super important to make sure you have some sort of plan for if that were to ever happen to you. Versus, when you're working for yourself, it might be a little bit harder, but I mean, you gonna fire yourself. Also with the 9-to-5, you have to request to take time off. Some jobs, depending on the job, they're a little strict about taking time off. When I was working my work from home job over the summer, baby, I requested a day off to go to my dentist, and they denied my day. Crazy. But I've always been the type that when I put in a request, I'm not asking for permission. I'm letting you know, and whatever you choose to do with that, that's on you. But some people ain't like me. Some people, if it's denied, oh well, I'm not gonna go to work, which I don't blame you. I'm not mad, but mentally, I cannot have another person. Like I've never been that type of person. I'm sorry. That's why I know 9-to-5s are not for me long term. With 9-to-5s, you do have income caps. So you know how certain jobs will tell you can make this amount up to, and you're capped out at a certain number after a certain amount of years, things like that. You have certain income caps with jobs, especially if you're not in a company that has growth opportunities. So I will say, if you do plan on staying in corporate America and you are wanting to, make the most that you can, or if you might not be, you might not want to, reach the corporate ladder, which is cool too. But I would say, if you do, make sure that you're working for a company who has growth opportunities. When you're doing the interview, make sure you ask that question, even though sometimes they be lying. But make sure you ask that question and actually try to get as much information as you can as far as the growth opportunities within a company that you work for, because a lot of companies, there's no room for growth. It's not. Versus when you're working for yourself, when you're self-employed, you might start out doing one thing, but you can always add on to it. So technically, your income has no type of cap on it, because you are in control of it. You are in control of the things that you add on to your business. You are in control of the clients that you take, whatever your business is. And the last one of this video, set schedules. Typically, a 9-to-5, you're going to have a 8 to 5, 8 to 6, 8, whatever your schedule is. You're going to have a set schedule to come in every day. When you're working for yourself, not so much, baby. You can be working from 10 in the morning to 10 at night. You can be like, your hours, you might work long days. Them days do get long. So you might have a little more freedom if that's something that you're striving for. But you have, realistically, like, people think, okay, well, you work for yourself, you can do this whenever you want to, such and such. But sometimes you do that, you're in control of your income. So if you're not working your business the way you needed to, then that can reflect on them deposits that you get throughout the week, the bookings that you get, whatever your business is. So, even though you can work 2-3 hours a day if you want to, are you going to grow your business like that? Starting out. I get, once you a vet, once you have your business operate basically by itself, you might not have to work as hard, but starting out, you ain't gonna have no 2-3 hour days. You just won't. It's gonna take a lot. It's gonna take a little more than that. And even if you're not physically working in your business, you always, when I tell y'all, my brain never shuts off. Never shuts off. I have been doing some type of work. What's this? It's midnight. It's after midnight. And I've been doing something, whether it's content creating, whether it's been recording, whether it's been editing, I've been doing something all day. And I'm a little sleepy, but it doesn't bother me, because it's actually something that I love to do. So it doesn't really feel like work to me. Like, granted, it is long. And if I did, want to have some sort of plans today, I couldn't, because one thing about it, have a plan set. Overall, when you have a goal within your business, if you want to be self-employed, you need to learn how to say no also. Sometimes you can't always go to them functions. People invite you and you decide, okay, I'm going to work on my business this day, these hours, but somebody call you like, hey, let's go to lunch. Baby, you got to learn how to say no. People ask you to go somewhere that costs a certain amount of money, but this is the money that you were going to use to invest in something. Baby, you're going to learn to say, I can't do it. And that's another thing. You're going to have to make certain sacrifices if you want to grow your business. And a lot of people are not willing to do so. But, you know, I'm not that person. Like, I'm never, ever too good to invest, never too good to say no, because I know where I'm going within my businesses, my brands. I know the levels that I'm trying to achieve. And I have to put me first, because at the end of the day, a lot of people won't understand the journey that you're taking, which is why it's super important to have people, like-minded people in your life that's going to understand the things that you know, are striving for, because they're on that same journey. You can't expect, like, granted, some of them might try to, but you can't necessarily expect your 9-to-5 friends to understand your self-employment, your entrepreneur journey, if that's not the route that they are on. If you are around the wrong group of people, they might not even care. They might know that you, okay, well, she gonna be doing content and such, or she's gonna be working in her business, she gotta do this, but they not, if you're around the wrong people, they not gonna care, and they gonna want to try to see you beneath them. Some people don't want to see you doing better than them, and not saying just because you are self-employed or a business owner that you're doing better than anyone with a 9-to-5, because baby, I know a lot of people with 9-to-5s doing better than people who are self-employed. So let me throw that out there. But what I'm saying is, some people don't understand some people don't understand certain things, and some people also do envy people who are striving for a little bit more, or, you know, try to make jokes of it. And I say that because I have lived it. Now, I don't have people in my life like that now. I don't play it. But, and also, if you are a 9-to-5 type of person, if you feel like a 9-to-5 is going to be better for you, then don't let nobody make you feel bad for doing what's best for you. If, you know, you want to just be able to relax on your Sundays and Saturdays and not have to think about work after 5 o'clock, whatever, cool, that's for you. And don't ever let nobody make you feel like you're doing less than because you decided that you don't want the stress behind having a business. And I get it, because, baby, it can be stressful certain times. But everybody's not called to do that. And I know what I'm called to do. I know what me and God has talked about. So that's why I walk in my purpose. That's why I take certain risks. And I also would like to show other people, like, I've done both sides. Like, again, I work part-time. And I also still do my content, working on my another brand. Like, I have a lot that I'm working on. And I can't afford any type of distractions. And I went through this whole video and I realized I had these pillows back here that I'm getting ready to throw out. And I'm not redoing this video. So, certain things like that can happen within you can be recording a video, and the video don't even record when you get through, when you stop the video and it don't save. You can be recording a video, you think you're recording using your back camera, and it don't record. But a lot of things can go wrong. Just like I had no clue that these pillows are right there, because I would have moved them. But it's okay. But again, if y'all did like this video, if you want to see more videos like this, make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see y'all in the next video.